Hello and welcome to VapenView, a place to discuss all things from the wonderful world of vaping. I'm your host Kyle, and today I'm delighted to say that we're going to be speaking with a special guest. So let's get to it. What's up, Aaron? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Well, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come on the channel and tell people your story. And I like to start off every one of the episodes with, what are you vaping on right now? What mods, what juices, etc.?
Boy, coming at me strong. We got the old, well-used Revolver 2 mech from Adam Vapes. Boy, 18650, nothing too crazy. And I'm vaping on the Taylor House e-liquid. I don't know, probably backwards because of my dang camera, but it's Taylor House Cookie Dream. I haven't found a good chocolate that I like, but it's okay. It's from Taylor House. They got an apple pie dessert line. It's all right.
All right, so everyone has a story about the way that they were introduced to vaping. You know, something that happened, some life-changing moment, or, you know, something going on. How did you find out about vaping?
Friends of mine in the military. I served in the Army for a long time and got into smoking and cigars and cigarettes and chew and drinking too much and all that good stuff, you know, that military guys like to get involved in. And then I got out of the Army and found myself in a whole heap of trouble and, you know, from substance abuse, and had to do a little time over that. And then when I got out, I just did, I had to do some time, and I was clicked up with the natives. And they had a ceremony with tobacco, and they use that as a sacrament. So I kind of felt that was kind of abuse of a sacrament in that manner. So I was like, man, and a lot of people on the yard were like jealous of us because we had access to tobacco in a state facility, and it was real important. You know, people try to sneak back tobacco to the cell house, you'll get smashed on, because that's serious business to be clicked up with the natives, the First Nation people, the American Indians. And then I got out. A lot of my friends from the Army was vaping. Just got into it, knew that cigarettes was not the way to go. And I like being physically fit, you know, going to the gym and running and doing all those things. I learned those good habits I learned in the Army. And I was just like, man, I got to get out of this mess.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that being, you know, being something that you can't be physically fit and smoke cigarettes. It's too hard. it's definitely too hard. You got to get that air into that blood, you know, get that oxygen into your body, get it to your muscles so you can get growth, and you can't do that.
Last year I just rode my first 100 miles on my bicycle, and I could have done that as a smoker for sure.
Oh, no. So 10
hours of pedaling.
Oh, that's a long time, man. Whew. Bet your legs were sore.
It was fun. It was fun.
So smoking is never an easy addiction to overcome. But as we all know, vaping can make the transition a whole lot easier. What would you say was the hardest thing to overcome when you were switching from smoking to vaping?
At first, I didn't like how, you know, I didn't know how to hit the vape right. I didn't know how to inhale it correctly. I had to get kind of schooled on that with my friends, because I'd always cough. It burns. What the heck? What's going on with this? What is this? And then, you know, they sat me down and kind of showed me how to hit it, you know, inhale it correctly. And then after that, I was like, this is pleasant. And after that, it was pretty easy.
I tell everybody, if you've ever smoked weed, you hit it like you hit weed, because really you do.
Hit it hard.
You got it. I mean, it's just one of those, like, I don't know how mouth to lung people do it, because like I can't mouth to lung, man. Every time I try to mouth to lung, I cough. It's not meant for that. It's meant to be direct lung inhale, to just let that just fill your chest, and you know, that's what it's meant for. It's not meant to be mouth to lung. Vaping is not. I mean, people do it. There's a lot of people out there that mouth to lung, and I don't put down nobody for what they do. I'll just get them off of cigarettes, but I can't do it. I have to lung inhale, and I tell everybody, oh, I can't hit it right. Hit it like you're hitting weed, and you'll be all right. And they be
like the bomb.
Just inhale it. Real quick, I want you to think back to the moment that you realized that you were no longer smoker. That moment that you said that you hadn't smoked a cigarette in a while, and you said, "Hey, I haven't smoked a cigarette in like, a week or whatever. I don't smoke no more. I'm a vapor." How did you feel at that moment?
It felt great. I was actually cooking at a little Mexican restaurant, and I saw how smoking ruined my profile for food. I couldn't taste things. I was ruined for salt. The smoking messed up my salt flavor profile. And then I saw people smoking at work, and I said, "You're handling food, that's disgusting. Even though you wash your hands after you smoke, that's just gross." And then I saw how much productivity was. Everybody got to have a smoke break for 15 minutes out in the back, behind the restaurant, and that's money. They're wasting money. That's hours a year of you just killing yourself. Or I would just be in the walk-in and I have my little vape, and we're good to go.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, and I don't know what it is. Like most places, and this is here in Colorado. I don't know about everywhere else, but most places here, they don't even say nothing to you, man. Like if you're vaping, they don't say nothing to you. Like I don't know, vaping is like very mainstream out here. Everybody knows about vaping in Colorado.
It sure is.
And nobody says nothing to you,
And if somebody sees you vaping, they'll run up on you. "Hey, what you juicing on? What you working with?" There's always the ladies. I'll be at the club, and the ladies will be a little tipsy, and they'll be like, "Can I take a picture of that juice? Because I won't remember it, but that's fire juice." Like, hey, man.
Real quick, I know that there's no industry that's perfect. There's problems with every industry and every person, product, everything. If there was one thing that you could change about vaping, what would that one thing be?
I'm glad you asked that. The labeling, I don't like a lot of these juice labels that are like kiddie labels. I live in a pretty conservative town up here in the mountains, and I sell a lot of juice to just about everybody, law enforcement, town folk. I mean, anybody who wants to buy juice, I got you. And they're real conservative. So you see, if you get some of them juices that got cartoons, and it don't look right. It don't look right, and it just looks like it's geared for kids. So that's kind of an issue I've had out here, selling juice. Is like there's some fire juices, but then it comes in and it's like, man, you got a dang cartoon on here. You got Bart Simpson. It's just ridiculous. That's one thing I'd like to see change, is just more contemporary labeling.
I think one of the biggest issues that as the whole vape community we face is that these companies, and I don't know how they get away with it. How can you put Bart Simpson or Captain Crunch on a bottle? Ain't them trademark things? Like, are you guys paying these companies to use their logos? And if you are, you're wasting money when you could just come out with a label, because nobody cares about the label. Nobody really cares about the label. Is your juice good? I go in there, I'm not looking at the label. I want to taste the flavor. I want to know that your flavor is good, your flavor profile is good, that you're using good ingredients. If you put a bottle, I think if somebody came out with a juice and they just put on their propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, nicotine, whatever, on the juice label, and then the flavor on there, they probably sell more than anything else, because right there you got all the ingredients right there on the label. They should name the juice: propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, strawberry cake, or whatever.
Fire juice is fire juice.
People's gonna vape the juice because it tastes good, not because of what the label. They don't care about what your label looks like. And I don't understand why a lot of companies, they're still pushing this, and they're still pumping out these juices with these labels. Like, why do you do that? They're like, you don't have to. Don't nobody care about your label. What gets around is word of mouth, especially with social media nowadays. Somebody comes out and says, this juice is excellent. You get 4 or 5 people saying that. I want to try that juice. I don't care what your label looks like. Word of mouth is what let me know that your juice is good. And I just don't get, why they keep doing that. It's like, the vape industry, we all know that this is a problem. It's being brought up left and right. We know it's a problem, but they keep on doing it. And it's like, why don't you just stop, man? It's just that easy. Just stop doing it. Come out with a label. My favorite juice that I vape to date, and I have been vaping for the longest time, bubblegum, and it's not even called bubblegum. It's called pink something now. They changed the name because, of course, they was like, wait a minute, bubblegum sounds kid-friendly, we're going to call it Pink Label or whatever. And it's literally a blank label, and it just says pink something on there, and that's it. That's all it is. It's from Vapor Leaf. That's one of my favorite juices, and I vape it all the time. It's my day in and day out vape, and it's the simplest label on the planet. So, vaping not only saves us from smoke-related ailments and stuff like that. It helps us, in quitting smoking. But vaping also has changed our lives in other ways. How has vaping changed your life?
Well, being social, getting out, being, having to deal with the stigma of being I was an honorably discharged veteran before I was a convicted criminal. They put that label on you, and it make you kind of not want to get out and be social, kind of be a hermit. And I don't know, vaping kind of just, because everybody's been through it. Everybody, I'm not immune to it. Nobody's immune to getting in trouble or making poor choices, just as long as you don't keep making those same poor choices. Learn from your mistakes. And vaping, I think there's just so many people vape from so many. I mean, I was walking through Lakewood one day and I seen a bum sitting on the curb, and he had his mod out and he was cleaning his coils, and I had to go back and talk to him. I said, "Hey, homie, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Man, I'm fixing my mod." And I'm thinking, "Dang, homie." And he said that he scrounged all those parts out of vape shop trash cans.
Wow.
And he was vaping tough at the bus stop, probably charges batteries at the mission or something. But he said, "Man, I got to quit smoking." So you have people from all the way at the bottom of society, and you have these, ballers in the jets and the cool cars and the vape models and the glamour and the glitz. But I think vaping is just really for everybody.
And you can't help because you want to tell people about it. You can't help it, man. You see somebody smoking, you want to talk to them. Hey, man, have you tried vaping? You should give it a try, man. It's it just it makes you want to talk to people because you want to spread the word. You want to tell people about what's going on. This is way better. It's way healthier for you. And, and even I don't even mind the occasional argument, the occasional argument about some propaganda, because I know the information. I've learned so much since I started vaping, and it has completely changed me. I was basically in the same position as you, not so much being in the pen, but, I was, gang banging and, doing stupid shit and being out there in the streets and doing dumb stuff, to having a reason to, something good to be spreading about, something good to talk about. And I think that's one of the biggest things. It just makes you want to communicate with people. It makes you want to tell people. It makes you, because you're doing something good. You're helping somebody. You see somebody smoking and you give them you talk to them about it, and the next time you see them, they're using a mod, they quit smoking. You just saved somebody's life.
Well, yeah, I noticed this too at the club. You'll see people come bum a cigarette, and they like bums. And then you don't see anybody, "Hey, I got this really good cigarette. What are you smoking on? You want to try?" You don't see them trading cigarettes. At the club, I'm vaping, and people say, "What are you juicing on?" And we start talking, and hey, we trade each other's juices. Let's trade information. It's a lot more positivity in this industry, and that's something I really like.
If there was one piece of advice that you could give somebody that was thinking about using vaping to quit smoking, what would that piece of advice be?
Man, you want to live longer. Who wants to live? I want to live longer. I want to smell nice. I don't want to smell like a dumpster bin. I don't want my house or my car smell like shit. Excuse my language. I like to taste my food. Simple. I want to live a healthier life, and I think everybody want to eat organic, and everybody want to get a gym membership, and it's like, well, quit the smoking. Combustion's dead. Everybody got electric cars now, so why can't you get with the program?
That's definitely true. So before we finish out the show, I want to give Aaron a shout out. You guys can find him on Instagram at Dajuceplug. Definitely go check him out on Instagram. What are some of the other places that they can find you at? That's
Dajuceplug, like Dajuceplug, Dajuceplug. You can see me. I'm in a couple movies. Got a couple major motion pictures under my belt. But you can find me on the Instagram. I'm the Facebook at the Phipps Family Farm. We're here in Del Norte with chickens and yaks and goats, and got a couple llamas running around.
Okay. So I will put a link in the description to everywhere you guys can find Aaron at. But Aaron, thank you for being on the show. I really do appreciate it, and I know that your story can help to inspire other people to give vaping a try and get off them cigarettes. And I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Thanks for having me, man.
You're welcome, man. Peace. Thank you for viewing. It means the world to me. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the channel yet, go ahead and do it now. And remember, vaping saved your life, so help vaping save more lives. Spread the word and keep on vaping.